Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Justin. I play guitar on songs in Nashville. And one of the songs I played on recently was written by my friend Ben Gallaher here. And you wrote a riff, and then somehow that turned into a song. So what happened here? How did this come about? When did you write the riff, and what happened with it? What did it break?
Broke the internet. No, I came up with this riff a couple years ago, and it kind of got away from me a little bit. I would play it live sometimes, but there was never a song attached to it at the time. And fast forward, I pulled it back out. One of many riffs, right? You forget some of them, then you come back to them.
Oh,
and,
totally.
Anyways, I came back to it and decided to post the riff on Instagram. And I was keeping time with my boot on a pedal board case, and I titled the caption "Boot Stomping."
Oh, cool.
And man, it took a life of its own. It went viral. It was a big blessing. And that original video is almost at, I think, 8 million views, which was, crazy to me.
That's awesome.
And there were so many comments of people saying, well, what's the song title? Well, at the time, there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Neil Thrasher, who co-produced the song Stomp, which is from the riff, and said, man, this thing's lighting up. We have to move this to the front. We got to write something to this. We got to move it to the front of the pile. So, long story short, we then posted the riff again on Instagram, and it went viral again. And so that's when we knew, all right, we need to get this thing out now. And the whole song was born from this riff that we're going to walk through and do a little tutorial. But it's called Stomp, and the song is now out anywhere you can find music. So check it out. Thank you for all the love on this thing, Justin. And thank you for posting that video and playing on the session, man.
Absolutely. I'll tell you why I came in and filmed you. Will you play it first? Will you show us
the speed?
Yeah. Play it at tempo. Yeah.
Here we go.
Man, there's so many cool things happening all in a row.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's killer. So let's back up a little bit. I've been playing in the studio with Ben off and on for several years. I feel like it's been just sort of randomly over the last, 4 or 5 years.
Maybe more. Yeah.
Maybe more than that. Yeah. And every time that I'm going to be working for Ben, I know that there's going to be some guitar part that I'm going to have to figure out that is like inside out in some way or left-footed somehow. He has this really cool way of playing familiar things in a fresh way, right? Like that's my takeaway anyway. So
no, I appreciate it. That's awesome.
Most of the time on sessions we're doing together where you're coming in as the artist or as the writer, you're not necessarily playing on the session. It's my job to copy your riff. And he'll come out and show it to me on the tracking room floor before we get started. Well, when we went in to cut Stomp, it was going to be on acoustic, and I was like, oh, good. I don't have to learn it. And so then there was talk, we booked one session for just the one song, which is great. That feels like an eternity for Nashville guys. Like we can really slow down and try different
settle
things.
In, and that's right.
Yeah. And there was some talk amongst your producers of like, well, maybe we try to put it on electric too, or something like that. And so I ran over to the ISO booth that he was going to play a scratch acoustic pass and do a scratch vocal in. And I knew about all the views on Instagram, and I tried to say the cheesiest thing I could think of. I was like, hey, bro, play me that I was holding my phone. I was like, play me that riff that broke the internet,
That was great.
And really, what I was trying to do was I want a copy of this so that I can go back to my seat, and if we decide that it needs to be on electric, I don't want to hold the session up. Like, I'm going to take this little clip back and try to figure it out without making Ben leave his ISO booth and come show it to me several times in a row. And then I just thought, he's going to put this song out. I'll put it on YouTube. It'll be cool. I'll tag you, and that one blew up too. I mean, dude, the power of this riff is pretty...
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
It is, My
internet was still working.
what? I started farming, man. The whole world just stopped. The whole grid just went down. Yeah. So we want to see if some people can learn this. Are we going to give them any incentive to figure this riff out and to post their own version of it?
We are. This is what we're going to do. It's going to be called the Stomp Challenge.
All right.
So we're going to walk through it here in just a minute and do a little tutorial. But you have from now until November 17th and to learn the Stomp riff and post a video of it. Tag me, tag Justin, and a winner will be picked to win a Taylor GS Mini that Taylor just made, the Stomp Edition Taylor guitar.
Oh, cool. Okay. So there's like it says Stomp on it?
Yeah, it says Stomp. Yep, it says Stomp here. And we're going to give one of those away to somebody that learns the riff and posts it and tags us by November 17th.
So you're saying I need to learn the riff?
No, you can't have it.
I'm a judge. That's
You're a judge.
They're tagging me. Okay, we'll decide who wins. Okay, I know this is difficult because you're used to playing it at the tempo you play it at, but can you slow it down to about half speed and play the whole thing? And then I want to point out some things that I noticed that might help people learn the actual riff.
Yeah. All right. Half speed. Minus that last little flaw. But anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's so much. Everything is in the right hand.
Right.
And I hybrid pick, and that's how you can get it to sound like that, because you're using a pick, but you're also using your fingers, and some of that's happening at the same time.
Okay.
So the left hand there's not as much going on the left hand as there is this right technique that rolls. It's once you get into that rhythm and you roll it, then it just locks in and you can just let it fly. Yeah. But it does take just a second to get that under your hands.
So what tuning are you in, first of all?
I am in drop C sharp.
Okay, so that's drop D, but everything's down a half step.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So if you're in standard, just drop D and then bring everything down a half.
Yeah, very cool. And it sounds like you're sort of rolling between 3 octaves of the C sharp note and hammering onto the top one like you're... I don't have the pattern, but all 3 of those are ringing out at the same time.
Yes.
It just makes it sound huge. You know?
Yes.
So what is your pattern on that first part?
Yeah, so...
What are you picking and what are you using your fingers for?
Yeah. Right there is that's the whole bit, is right there.
Oh, cool. Okay. Totally. I know it's so hard to play slow. You say it's not in the left hand, but you're doing some cool things in your left hand too, where when you go to that, I think that is the flat third.
Yeah.
You're bending it while these notes are ringing out.
And you have to bend it down, right? You can't bend it up because you'll run into you'll kill those notes.
Yeah, you're trying to get that stuff to sustain. You do another thing that I've noticed when you come down, you kind of ghost note back into that up. 7th fret on the D string, or I guess the C sharp string. You know?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the slide downs, you're actually hitting this low C sharp too with it. So it's kind of like a call and answer bit.
Yep.
And it's very percussive, especially the...
Yeah. Okay, so those first 3 notes don't really sound like notes. It just sounds like it's more of a like you're muting with the left hand, and then are you picking all 3 of them, or are you hybrid? Is it a chicken thing?
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm only plucking that one there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm using the pick for this percussive thing. And the middle thing is just, you just kind of, it's really a dud note, but it's for effect of, you know, effect to the ear, really.
Yeah.
Shik-a-da-gow-gow, shik-a-da-gow-gow.
Yeah, and then the harmonic right after it. Yeah. Man, that's so cool. So you're kind of... Oh, there it is. And then it's just the that you're popping with your finger. The whole... That's all with a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you've got the rolling pattern, you've got the slide downs
down
with the little ghost note back up, and then the second time you do the harmonic.
The harmonic there.
Okay, so, and then you go back and you do the front half of the riff again with the slides. Now, show me the big lick that kind of starts up here and goes all the way down.
Yeah, so that ending run that's how the song Stomp, the track that's available anywhere you can find music, that's how it ends. But that bit is not in the intro of the song.
Right. You play just the front half of it.
Yeah, because you can't, that's too much, right? Yeah, it's too much to start a song like that.
Yeah,
but for a riff, it's cool. So that bit is...
and then you hit the low string again, right? Yeah. So, and then you played.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's right.
At speed. Very cool. Man.
That's left-footed too.
Of course. You wrote it.
That had some weird stuff in it that may be a little unconventional, but, you know, I always looked at it as, if it sounds good, it is good.
Yeah,
You know, it's like there could be, technically speaking, there's probably some stuff in there that's like, I don't know if that goes, but I like the way it sounds.
No, totally. Yeah, it's very, like, it's very D minor or C sharp minor, but there's like these major triads here, and then you play, so you're playing the flat 3, the 9, the 1, and then it's a little bit of blues scale.
Yep.
Then you play the 9 again.
That's it.
Yeah, so if people will learn this and post themselves and tag us, they could win a Taylor GS.
That's right. They can.
That's fantastic.
November 17th is the cutoff.
Okay. I got one more question for you. Just if you were to point our viewers here to 3 guitar players that sort of created Ben Gallaher as a guitar player, like your 3 biggest guys that you just studied and tried to learn all their stuff, who would you tell people to check out?
I grew up on 90s country, so that's...
Yeah.
You can't think of 90s country and not think of that chicken picking sound that was... A lot of Brent Mason was a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And sonically, it stands out from everything else, from any other genre, really. And that was all... I mean, that's Brent, obviously, tone and stuff, but it's in the hands. And that's really where I started to learn and dig into this hybrid picking thing and that chicken picking and that popping that you can't get with just a pick.
Right.
So that's where I dug into that. I'm no Brent Mason by any stretch, but I learned some of that
None of us are.
Yeah. I learned some of that stuff from his style of playing and then and mixed it with a little rock. I grew up on Skinner, Gary Rosendon, those guys. You know, so mix that. I also grew up on those early Keith Urban records.
Yeah. That was such a new sound. You know?
And he did some left-footed stuff that was that just cool on the ear.
He's a legitimately great guitar player.
Yeah. So
not just a pretty face.
Yeah, mix all that stuff and studying your stuff just to know. Got to be in that list. What are you talking about?
You're a bad liar.
Man. But I'd say, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mix of all that.
Okay, I lied. I have one more question.
Yeah.
I notice when you play that, and I know a lot, like you said, a lot of it's in your hands, but I don't normally hear, even when people hybrid pick on acoustic, I don't hear that much snap and twang. Is that something that you get out of this particular guitar, or, like what? I guess tell me about Taylors. You're a Taylor guy, like
through and through.
That's not normal in Nashville. It's mostly Gibsons and Martins, right?
No, I got my first Taylor in 2011, and it was a fall edition that they only made that year, and it just felt like home. I know other guitar players on here, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like when you pick something up and it's like, where has this been? Yeah. And so I bought it, and ever since then I've been a Taylor guy because I just loved that guitar and what it did to my playing and my inspiration. I'm playing Elixir strings.
And you play really hard.
Play hard. I do play hard.
It seems
sometimes too hard.
Yeah, what happened there?
I played hard. Now, when I'm doing solo acoustic shows on the road, without a band, of course, I'm actually keeping time often by tapping like this, and that pickup sounds like a kick drum coming through the mains.
Oh,
so
okay.
It'd be to that type of thing, and then if you just get into the music, man, and then I look down one night, and I'm like,
You're like, maybe this isn't a cajon like I've been treating it.
No.
Is that bracing rattling around in there?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So, and it's just the specific wood that this Taylor was made of is not made for that.
Okay.
But my one from 2011 that I've been doing that to is fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's got a little bit of stuff, but this is my workhorse, and this has held up. This thing's been through everything.
Yeah.
And so they just reliable, and the tone's great. It feels good in my hands. And
some acoustics, I don't know. Tell me if you disagree, but it feels like on some older Gibsons, or I don't know, like the harder you dig in, they almost sort of, they don't hold up to it.
No.
They don't like stand up under the onslaught.
It goes backwards usually.
Yeah, it gets quieter. You dig in harder and it doesn't speak, right? But this seems like everything's just flying off of it no matter how hard you dig into it.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good for that thing, for sure. Especially if you play hard. But if you play soft, guess what? That sounds great too.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, it seems like you can treat it like a telly and it'll speak,
For sure. It's got some brightness on it, and that helps with that.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Thanks for showing us the riff.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you to all you guys for watching this video and blowing it up, sharing with your friends, and listening to the song Stomp, and for posting it, man, because it does mean a lot to me. I appreciate all the support, for sure.
Yeah. I'll have links to all Ben's stuff, Spotify, iTunes. He's got a YouTube channel as well. Check it all out. Learn the riff, You don't only have to watch when he played it slow. You can see it at full time, but use the YouTube feature of slowing it down too. So, see who gets that guitar. I'd love to. I want to see how people figure this out. It's tricky.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see your guys' videos.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you later.